What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the third installment of Dad's Office Podcast by Brosgiving. It is DJ CJ, Brent, or Uncle Brent, Captain Fox, and the Archer himself, knocking down the shots.
Shooting, man.
And we are your we are your number one source for content in the Pocono Mountain area, and we just want to thank you guys for making last week's episode so special. I know Zach, who came on the podcast, had a great time, and you guys gave us a ton of great feedback. And just for future reference, you guys want to see something on the podcast, or you have a question about the podcast, or just a general comment or whatever, leave it in our comment section. And if you want to be on the podcast, more specifically, just hit us up. Our doors are always open. We're looking for great stories. We're looking for people with a story. Even if you don't, you want to come hang out with us, have a good time. We're not picky, man. We're just looking to make some more content. Looking to bring some light to the world. So if you have anything that involved with that, we'd love to have you. But welcome back. We are the soon-to-be, or hopefully the number one content producers in the Pocono Mountain area, and on the way up, and eventually the world. We are the bee's knees, man.
We're coming for Rogan.
Coming for Rogan. Yeah, at Joe Rogan to have us on the podcast. But just to start up, what did everyone do this week? Everyone have a good week?
Had a rough weekend last weekend.
Did you? What'd you do?
My first experience umping youth sports, youth baseball in particular. And let me tell you, it's everything they talk about and more. So, I think 2 weekends ago, Friday night, my brother was like, "Oh, Brent, they need someone to umpire. They have no one to do it. Can you do it?" So I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Like, they were going to put me on with one of my buddies, an older dude or whatever. And yeah, I was like, "I know baseball, whatever." So I show up to the field.
Well, just to kind of put it in perspective, when I first started to umpire, me and my buddy back our senior year of high school, we went through like a little training thing and everything, and it was informal to say the least, but they taught you how to do it. They put you in different situations, and they taught you how to handle it. But nah, man, Brent was thrown right into the fire. They're like,
so yeah, they threw me right in the fire. I show up to the fields, 7 a.m., and they're like, "Brent, we need you to do home plate right away." And I was like...
Brent didn't even have gear.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, shoot, okay, I'll do it, whatever. I know I've been around baseball for a long time.
And usually when you go, you text the person the night before, you ask what you want to wear and everything, and it sucked because I couldn't find my gear to give to Brent. So I'm just saying, if he shows up the next day and he's going to have to do behind the home plate, I don't think the guy's going to be very happy because Brent's going to have to use all of his stuff.
Yeah, that was...
But I guess it wasn't too much of an issue. I literally lost sleep over it that night just because I was thinking how bad this day was.
Yeah, so anyway, I show up there. First off, they're like, "We need you to stay the whole day." And I'm like, okay, that works, that's fine. So I get down to the field, I get behind home plate, I'm going. They're like, "You need to do pregame speeches with the coaches." I was like, "Dude, I don't know the rules to this place at all." He goes, "All right, fine, I'll do it." So he goes over the rules, and I was like, "All right, yeah, let's play ball, guys." I'm just totally winging it. I don't even know what I'm doing. So the first game goes by, I'm behind home plate. It goes pretty smoothly, nothing crazy. Second game, some parents are chirping me, Some kids are kind of giving me crazy looks when I punch them out.
Giving bad calls, though.
My zone was pretty good. Not perfect.
For a first day umpire?
Yeah, considering I didn't even know where to stand behind home plate. I was just squatting with the kids who were 4'8". And I'm like, strike. Yeah, that crossed the plate. That's good. Let's get these games moving.
Can you give us your cadence real quick or whatever you call it?
Yeah, what do you do? What's your strike call?
Let's hear it.
Well, it was a lot of strike. Nah. My basic was just a strike 3, or I'd be ball up and in, strike in and out, whatever.
What was your hand call for the strikes?
I went straight like this, or I went
that was strike 3. Just
the old pistol hand, just nice and clean. So a couple games go by, nothing crazy, but then the third game comes. This is where it gets interesting.
Oh,
kid doesn't slide into third. The throw beats him by a mile, but it tagged him up on the thigh. So if you know baseball, you gotta tag him low, beat him to the bag. Well, the throw beat him by a mile, but the kid was safe. So I'm like, safe. The coach comes right out of the dugout. "That's bullshit. No way. You gotta be kidding me. That's horrible." And I'm like, dude, get back in the freaking dugout. This is crazy. These are 12-year-old kids.
Yeah.
So that was my first experience of bad call in the day or whatever. No, it was a good call, but coach is going crazy.
It's crazy just because you had you had no idea what you were doing, and these guys think you're a legit umpire.
I couldn't justify my rules because I didn't know the rules to the place, so I was just like, "Yeah, no, that's a good call. It's there. It's on the thigh. No way."
But that makes sense,
right?
That's not a bad call, right?
But he's like, "I know the rules," and I had to be like, "No, I know the rules, pal. Step to the dugout, or you're gone."
Just confidence, just like Ken
But
Murphy.
all right, so 2 more games go by, nothing crazy. Some parents chirping, and then the 5th game comes up. Play at the plate. Kid runs into the catcher, sliding, and the ball pops out. So I go, safe. And then the coach is like, no, the ball came out after he got up off the ground. So I'm like, all right, well, let me ask my field ump. And he's like, no, yeah, I saw him tag him. He was out. The ball came up after the fact. So I go back to the dugout. I'm like, he's out. And you would have thought I told one of the parents that their kid sucked or was the worst baseball player I've ever seen. Because from the next 2 hours after that point, I was probably called every name under the book. I couldn't get anything right. And I was easily the most hated man. And they were from Pittston, so from Pittston, PA, I was easily the most hated man.
Oh, they were from Pittston? What was
Yeah,
do
the
you remember
team.
you remember what the team was called?
Like Pittston Warriors or something, some stupid travel name like they all are, like Elite Academy or something, or USA Baseball, like they're all named.
What were the stakes of this game? Was this a championship game?
No,
or
this was just
some exhibition?
Just exhibition.
Yeah.
And I was
just
told,
a showcase for your 12-year-old kid.
yeah,
No, not even, dude. It's just in the middle of a field
the
somewhere.
parents though, you would have thought. So I make the call. I'm walking back to umpire again, and the parents are like, "Blue, that's horrible. That's horrible. How?" They're like, "How do you have a job? That's horrible." Like this one dad was saying this to me, and I'm like, "Dude, just like."
What was the most creative insult you got on the day?
Oh, one of the kids goes, I didn't know Ronald McDonald was our umpire today. So of course when he got up, I
Dude, you
I
should've
punched
just
him out.
tossed him.
I punched him out when he
Did
came
you?
up. It was
Was
a
it-
ball. Dude, it was a curveball. It was like above his head, and I was like, strike 3. You're done. He looked back. He was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, no, you're not talking to me like
The
that.
kids were looking back at you like they had no, like...
And then in the dugout, the coach is like, I think his name is Brent Pacheca. He's looking on the ECTV website
Oh,
that's ahead of the
Jeez
tournament.
Louise, man.
And they were
Let
like,
it go.
they were like, we got to report him.
Yeah.
He's done. So the game goes on. That team ends up losing because I'm like, I'm not giving them any calls after that. The parents are all just going nuts at me. I'm walking out. They're like, oh, that's horrible, Blue. You suck. Yada, yada. I'm like, whatever. Just give me my paycheck. Like, that's, like, shut up.
You know what's funny? That guy
Yeah.
questioning you, like, how does this guy have a job? Has he not seen every business throughout the country hiring now?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
no, he's-
everybody's short staffed.
because everyone thinks that their 11-year-old son is, like, Division I.
But yeah, it's like
yeah.
regardless of that, and like people not being able to find work or not being able to fill up their businesses
Mm-hmm.
with workers, umpiring's tough. Like you're never going to please anyone, and that's the
yeah.
one thing that we told you. You got to
Everybody's
go
got
into
something
it.
to
You
say.
got to be super confident. Like you got to go back and watch that Kent Murphy video on YouTube. You guys ever watch Kent Murphy?
Yeah, he has some.
I think
funny
so.
Yeah, dude.
impersonations.
It's just like you got to be super ultra confident, and you can't give it up for anything.
Yeah.
So, dude, that would have been the perfect opportunity for when
Oh.
the kid slid into home. And it's like, yeah, show me the ball, show me the ball. He's like, I have it, Blue. Is he out? And you got to be like, safe.
Dude, yeah, everyone at that age, 11, 12, 13, everyone's safe. No one knows how to tag or anything. But you can't say that to the parents. You can't say it to the coaches because they think every kid on their team is Coastal Carolina bound. So,
Shout out, Zach.
yeah.
Don't even stress it, dude. You're watching these NFL games on the weekend, and Cedric Wilson mosses this guy. Literally gets 1 foot in. The refs from me to CJ distance, and he's like, "Yeah, that's a grab."
And they're going to pay how
and
much?
You see the instant
Yeah.
replay. He
Yeah.
gets 1 foot in.
You're standing right there and they make the wrong call every time.
Yeah, but like, then the day goes on. There's a couple more calls. Like, the one team, first off, U Sports teams are just getting nuts. They had 6 coaches for 10 kids.
Yeah.
So you got
Each one of their
you have
dads.
dad 1, the pitcher's dad is at third, like always, coaching third. You got the 4 hitters' dad at first, man down first. And you got the 3 bench coaches are just kids throughout the team, just parents. And yeah, their kid doesn't do anything wrong, and that's just the bottom line. Everyone's perfect. Everyone's Mike Trout out there. So yeah, they just justify everything. But yeah, umpiring U Sports is definitely a interesting thing you can do.
And the one thing is, this is the one thing that my high school coach told me when we were arguing a call from an umpire. And this is actually in a game, it's a high school game. It's not a playoff game or anything like that. But it's a game that, you would think would have some stakes for the end of the year. It's going to affect your seeding and everything. You guys know how it goes with the sports you guys played.
Yeah.
And he said the one thing that you can never do is you can never talk to an umpire like that.
Yeah, the fact
Especially
that
not at a high
these
school- at the high
11-year-old
school
kids
level.
are like telling me stuff. I'm like, where are your parents? Like, no shit. The kids turn out like this because the parents are over there. You suck, Blue. Like you're an
Parents,
asshole.
and they see it on TV with
Right.
all these professionals arguing the calls.
Well, the one kid balked pitching. So people don't know baseball, know what I'm talking about. But he balked. And I'm like, that's a balk time. He goes, no way, Madison Bumgarner does that. He's a pro baseball pitcher. I'm like, I don't care if Madison Bumgarner does it. He does it right.
Yeah,
you screwed it up.
He screwed it up.
Then the dad's in the dugout, of course, because his dad's, what did I say? The pitcher's dad is the coach. And he's like, no way, no freaking way, no way. He like runs on the field. Like, if you're running on the field for an 11-year-old exhibition game, there's bigger fish to fry. I hate to break it to you.
Hey, calling a balk in a 12-year-old baseball game, that's pretty tough, man.
It is tough. Because all they do is fidget.
Because all they do is balk. And dude, so the one time you call it, you're the freaking bad man. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
And dude, I coach an 11U team right now, and no, we don't give umpires crap like this. But teaching them how to do the pickoffs and everything, because they've never done it before, they overthink everything that they're about to do on the mound. So if they're about to go over and they're trying not to balk, it makes them balk because they're hesitating when they're going over.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes it that much tougher for the dude that's calling it. And just outside of that, what my coach was getting at, he said, if you ever try and talk to an adult like that, whether you're at the youth level and playing travel baseball or the high school level or the college level, they're going to put you down. And the only thing that it does is it gets you removed from the competition. And that's in basketball, that's in football, that's in baseball. Yeah. So, like, I get it, man. Like, you sell out for all your time. You put all this time and effort into it. Your parents are putting money into it. So there's nothing wrong, I think, with giving the umpire a little lip from time to time.
Come on, Blue.
Like, come on, Blue. Yeah. But that's almost a knee-jerk reaction in any sport. Like, that wasn't a foul or anything. But if you get tossed out of the game and you can't play, the only thing that's going to be reflected on you is that you have a bad attitude.
That's especially in youth sports, dude. That's a bad look. A kid getting ejected, like, there's so much. Like, you just can't do that. That's just bad.
And dude, I used to get ripped and stuff umpiring and everything, but I took so much from some of the parents and some of the kids. And even if I go to umpire, I'm going to do the same thing because I'm not trying to toss anyone out, but just have a little bit of decency. And that goes in any sport. And even in basketball, the basketball refs were definitely a lot shorter. So I remember my sophomore year, I went to say something, and the ref was nice. Like, we were talking to him the whole game. But he said, "Oh, what's that 55?" I said, "Nothing, sir," because I'm not trying to start anything, man. Yeah, dude, I think it was against
Come on, say it again.
I think it was against Deer or something. I remember that game. We got getting blown out.
So,
surprise.
You remember Coach Fitz, right?
Yeah.
So growing up, like, it was always, I never gave the refs a hard time because he always said two things. With a ref, you smile and play your game. Yeah. That's it. There's no reason to give him a hard time. I mean, especially at a youth level too.
But even at Campbell, when we would be on the bench and there'd be a big game up there, and especially with all the money that goes into Division I sports and all the time, because again at the Division I level it's a job, so there's definitely those umpires take a lot of flack, and I've had the privilege of talking to some of them who are umping our summer league and everything, and I definitely have some respect for them. But there's a lot of times even I was walking on eggshells when I was chirping and stuff like that. Like, you just got to be careful because if you get tossed, you're done. Yeah. And at the college level, at least at the Division I baseball level, if you get tossed, your coach gets tossed automatically too. So if you get tossed the first game of a series, man, as a player in the first inning, the coach is out for like the rest of the series. So it almost forces them to take action against their players or to keep a tight leash. And if sometimes we were chirping a little bit too much, Coach Hare would come down and he would just end it right there. We listened to him, because we're not trying to hurt the team in any way. But emotions are flying. Everyone puts a lot of time and a lot of effort into it. So it is what it is. But just a part of the game. But just the overall lesson of what we're talking about here is just have some respect, especially if you're in the high school setting and you're going and you're trying to get recruited by a college or even if it's just in a rec league, man. It's not that important, man. You're there to compete. You're there to expand upon your competitive will and make sure you know how to compete in a situation like that, and you're there to give it your all. But other than that, it's just not worth it. So all you dudes out there, if you listen to this podcast and then I see you get tossed in a game, I'm gonna be like, hey dude, we talked about this on podcast episode 3 exactly 10 minutes into it. And speaking of high school sports, so we want to do a weekly shout out, and this is going to be something else that we end up doing every week. We're going to give a shout out to an athlete in the area or an influencer or something like that, someone we feel deserves an applause. But my sister, no bias there for the first one. Iced an overtime goal versus Stroudsburg, which started.
She bagged the rival school up.
Bagged the rival school up in an overtime game in field hockey, and she's committed to Division I Ball State, which is pretty cool. We're super proud of her. Yeah. Division D1, baby.
No other division than one.
No other division. D1 or die, baby. But
good stuff, Olivia. Keep it up.
But yeah, she and dude, this just kind of brings it up, man. I hated playing against Stroudsburg in high school. Like, I really disliked it.
Well,
like,
they had
nothing
our
against
number.
the people there, bro. But
I
even
think we all did.
I think we beat them. I think our last 4 games, when you go the end of junior year into playoffs, senior year, we beat them every single time. But I want to say we beat them once in soccer. But other than that, man, we just kept on getting beat in JV, in varsity, basketball, everything. I remember I played there, freshman basketball. I was averaging like 15 points a game freshman year. And I go in there, I drop like 5 points. And I think it was just because I hit a bank shot 3 at the buzzer at
Probably
the end
thinking
of the game.
about it. I don't think I did that good against Stroudsburg either.
But did we talk? Yo,
It's all good.
we talked about that game
I think
right
we might
last
I could've
podcast?
beat
I think
them,
we touched on it when they just Tyler Henry drills the 3 at the buzzer to beat us.
Yeah, I remember that.
Dude, people listening to this were like, "Damn, man, that Tyler Henry
I
dude
went
really
to the game
hard."
when you guys got like killed by Stroudsburg. Like,
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole game. I was at
Oh,
the
yeah, it
game
was
you guys
bad.
got killed. Of course, I missed the really good
Oh,
game.
our
but-
dude, that like second game of
hyped
senior
up,
year,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Stephon breaks the record for 3s in a game
Against Homestead.
Homestead. We're all
Yeah.
hyped up. This is gonna be our year, you know.
And then Strasburg comes in, bro, and they
Into
just
our house, packed stadium.
Oh,
most
yeah, I remember
packed,
that.
most packed our stadium had been. Our gym had been
Arena.
in years,
Yeah.
and
I was there,
we got
yeah.
trounced, man. Oh, that was horrible.
I think we lost by
That was
40.
brutal.
But we didn't really have a big man at the time because I was injured. And,
doesn't
and our
matter. They just
our
beat us.
sophomore, yeah. But I mean, you know, their one big man just kept getting it and putting it back up. Just I think he got 25 points off of rebounds alone, and he wasn't taller than me or anything. I would have been able to at least get a body in there. But I think they beat us by more points.
Probably like
the
40.
deficit of points that we lost by was more points than we scored. I
Yeah.
think it ended up being,
Yeah.
which is crazy
That
to
was
think
bad.
about. But yeah, good job to Olivia. So and that started like a 10-game win streak for
I was
him,
gonna say
which is pretty cool.
East field hockey in Stroudsburg, I've always been like neck and neck, so that game's always huge, like big crowd. And yeah, Livy, it was overtime. It was 1-1. Livy put it in on a corner, nice crazy shot, whipped it in there, and yeah,
That's awesome.
she bagged him. I guess
That
it
was
was
our revenge on Stroudsburg.
yeah,
right there.
dude. They always chirp on the field
She
too,
took care of our unfinished business.
right?
So.
Because the one year I was the
Appreciate
manager
it.
for the team.
Pencil it in for the Pachakas. You guys ain't I know.
But yeah, I was the manager for the team the one year, and like I always thought like field hockey girls, like it's just probably like nice, everyone's friendly. Dude, let me tell you, no way. The shit that these girls say to each other on the field is like nuts, like throwing elbows and crap. Like, so don't think field hockey is just some like fairyland, do what you want, dilly dally. Like that gets intense. So I was hyped to see that.
And it's hard because so they won 10 straight games or 11 straight games, and they rolled in to play Nazareth. Nazareth is the number 1 team in the league. They're the only team that was left undefeated. So we took them into overtime, and we ended up losing on a goal in overtime because they do like the golden goal scenario.
Yeah.
So whoever
Sudden
scores
death,
first,
yeah.
sudden death. But it's so hard to yell because I'm so used to being passionate and yelling about stuff and like wanting to affect the game somehow, but just like anyone is. But it's so hard to yell in field hockey sometimes just because there's so many whistles and there's so many different rules that
Yeah,
they
it's
have
pulling
to
every
follow.
second.
And now
They do whistle a lot.
the more you watch it, I mean, the rules really aren't all that complicated. Like I've picked up on them now, but there was this one incident where one of our girls. It looked like she got fouled, but not gonna lie, the refs were against us the whole game. Like I don't mean to, but they 100%
Completely ignore
were.
what we just said.
Yeah, they were against us the whole game, and I was yelling at them a little bit, but I was up in the stands, and I wasn't being vile, especially because my parents weren't letting me. But it looked like our girl got fouled, but with the way the game was going, I thought they were going to give the foul to our girl, but they ended up giving it to the other team. So I'm glad I didn't look. My parents were like, "You
But
sound."
CJ
so
prematurely
stupid."
yelled and was like, "Come on!"
I was like,
and
"Come
they were
on."
literally giving the other girl on the other team a card, and he was like, "Oh."
Yeah, that's
I was like,
so
"Come on,
hypocritical.
CJ."
That's so hypocritical considering what we were just talking
Yeah.
about. So, I
what
didn't even
CJ
think
said.
about that. But it wasn't that bad. We had some funny
you were
moments.
right. Yeah, you were right.
They said they have some like commentary of us because they would sometimes film the games with an iPad and they'd be like right
Yeah.
behind us. So they pick up on our audio of us kind of just like narrating the game and talking about stuff. And they said the coaches said it was funny. So I mean, whatever. But
Yeah, rock with it.
And
It is what it is.
yeah, and to bring us to our next topic, our main focus of today is going to be getting started in the weight room. So we're going to go around. We're kind of just going to go over some of our different experiences, but getting started in the weight room. And our hope with this is going to kick off the fitness portion of our page. So one of the initial goals of starting this whole page and starting the whole brand was to do some fitness stuff. We debated maybe just even starting a fitness podcast to start off with. And I definitely like what we're doing now, but we want to dedicate a part of what we do to our fitness journey. And, guys, we're former athletes, current athletes, guys who are aspiring to maybe be a powerlifter or a bodybuilder, and guys who are just trying to get in shape, guys who are trying to accomplish some of their goals because we're not one of those already like Instagram models.
Right,
we're not
right.
an already established YouTube vlog where the dudes are already jacked. And don't get me wrong, man. We buy their stuff. We love their content. We hope to get them on the podcast or do a vlog with them someday, be just like them. But we're going to show you kind of the start, like right from the beginning, how we got through some of that. And then you guys are going to go along on the journey with us. So who wants to start off on the talking about the getting started in the gym? Who wants to get... Brent, I think you kind of have a good introduction to that.
So, yeah, it's like probably this time last year, I was like, for like 2 years. All right, so growing up, I was a stick, like so skinny, like 120 pounds going into high school. That was a joke. But then like my end of my junior year of high school, senior year, I put on some weight. I was 190, I was 190. And I just kind of had that weight on for about a year.
And I had always been on you kind of about getting in the gym and stuff.
People would always make jokes,
almost like more
subtle
annoying
jokes. It'd be like, "Oh, Brian, looking a little puffy today." I just kind of wouldn't think twice about it. I'm like, "Oh, they're just fucking with me." Like, yeah.
Oh, language, man.
Freaking with me.
We are children-friendly podcast on the YouTube comments.
But yeah. So I just need this time last year. I was like, I'm gonna make a change. Like, I'm gonna do this thing because I was home. Like I talked about in the past couple of podcasts. Not much to do. I was like, I'm gonna make a change right now. So I basically, mid-October last year, faithfully started going to the gym at least 5 days a week. And over the past year, I've really barely missed. There's a couple of vacations and whatnot, but I've stayed true to it. I got results. I went down to 170, so I cut 20 pounds. I'm back up to between like 180, 185 now. So I lost 20 pounds and then put on like 10 pounds of muscle probably. And I just fell in love with the process. Now it was like my getaway for all my problems. Like go to the gym. If I was ever stressed out, go to the gym. It gave me a routine. And it was the best decision I ever made. And now I can't miss a day.
Yeah, and dude, if you look at the transformation from Brent from a year ago to now, it's night and day. So if you guys were to go back and look
I was consistent, yeah. Like it was a process.
Like you look on his Instagram story and you go back to his graduation pictures, and then you look at now, especially some of the videos we've been taking in the gym.
I need to update that, but
it's just it's crazy. And I always joke on our podcast we're gonna document the fluff to buff story, the Brent Pachaka story.
Fluff to buff.
That can be you. Buff. That could be
that
you.
Can be you. That's our slogan.
What's the Brent Pachaka workout plan? Chest every day and drink bangs and bangs for energy.
You go in there with a couple white monsters. Shout out White Lightning. Maybe a sugar-free Red Bull. I would stay away from Red Bull. It gets the heart going a little too much. Or a Bang or a Rain, and you're just in there for 2 hours.
A-Shock's pretty good. A-Shock
is good. We just found that. That's a good one.
Yeah, shout out A-Shock and Zoa. And Dwayne Johnson, we love you.
No.
Zoa. Yeah.
Zoa's all right. I like Zoa for the most part.
We like The Rock, so we're going to let it slide. But, that was the best decision I ever made, was getting in the gym, being consistent. Because once you see results, it's like, you're addicted then. You're like, oh, shit. Once I can better myself, which all of you can if you're consistent and want to go. It's just a mindset thing. But, yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah, especially with what we said, with what Zach was talking about with the music and everything. Dude, when you get into the gym and you get that music going, man.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you find some good stuff on SoundCloud. I'm a big Booty Mix guy. Big Booty Mix guy.
Yeah, SoundCloud's got the good stuff for that.
But that's pretty good. All right, Rich.
Let's give this one to Bobby first.
Bobby?
Yeah, we're going to circle.
All right.
That's my lifting partner right there. So, in high school, I was in the best shape of my life, especially right after football season, going right into wrestling season because we still weightlifted during that. So I felt really good about myself too. And then kind of as college started, me and Richie worked out at ESU sometimes, but we would kind of get in a groove, stop, get in a groove, stop.
Freshman 15?
Yeah, definitely. I'm probably like 20 pounds heavier than I was in high school. I want to try to get back to kind of a lighter weight eventually. It's just hard for me to kind of eat healthy. That's something I'm planning on working on soon. But I'm just trying to stay more consistent in the gym because sometimes when I don't go, I do feel bad about myself. Like, oh man, I definitely could have made time for that today because I'll be playing like video games or just watching like a ton of football and stuff. And I'm like, man, I easily, like in the morning, I could have went and lifted. So it's just about staying consistent is the big thing for me. In terms of what I want to do, I do want to get more toned because kind of like Brent said, like when you see the results, it kind of is like, man, like I want to look better. And yeah, I also want to get stronger. One of the things like we were talking about, we're going to do like lifting challenges, like vlogs on with us for Brosgiving. So just like main lifts that I like to do are kind of main lifts that I did in high school, except I used to have power clean in high school, but I don't do any of that anymore. I'm probably not going to do that, like, not anymore.
Power cleanings are tough, dude.
Yeah, that kind of gets the whole body going if you're into that. But mainly I'm just like, I haven't done legs in a while, but I like doing squat, deadlift, then just like bench, incline bench, stuff like that. And kind of what you guys were saying about music, like if I'm by myself, I need to listen to music in the gym. But if I'm with someone, like if I'm working out with Richie, then I don't really need it. Either way, just I'm able to get a good workout in. So yeah, we'll turn it over to my partner Richie over here.
Yeah,
Big Rich.
Tell me about your high school chest days you used to do with GIF in the gym.
Okay. So senior year, me and one of my best friends, Steven Gifford, I'm sure a lot of you know who he is. We had a challenge and a bet that who's gonna hit 225 first. It was kind of like a mental block. We definitely were both strong enough to do it. We just couldn't. So we would go into the strength conditioning every day and just bench literally 5 days a week and just bench.
Bird chest.
I hit last day of senior year. I go in there. I hit 220. I can't hit 225. So on the
What
bench.
GIF get?
I think he might have cracked it. But it was funny though because I always go in phases. I lift a lot and then I stop. I lose my gains and I have to restart. So I hit 220. Summer came. I stopped lifting, lost all of that, and yeah. I mean, the number one piece of advice I would probably give to somebody just starting off is find a partner to lift with, someone else to hold you accountable on days you don't want to go in. For a while there, me and Bobby were going, and Nick Podolic. So we had a group chat and Snapchat, and Nick would send, what time today? And that's kind of my cue.
Right,
like, man, if I'm not feeling up to it, I don't want to, you don't want to let someone else down.
Right. That's just like him and I. Like, there's mornings where I do not want to get up. It's 5:30. I want to stay in bed. And CJ's like, turns like, nope, let's go. So I'm like, all right, yeah, now I got to go. Like, I'm not going to go back to bed. Feel like a piece of crap. So
definitely find someone else to hold you accountable because some days you're not going to want to do it. And yeah, I just got to stay more consistent overall. I go on vacation. I always say, all right, if I don't work out, I'm going to do a little bit of push-ups and stuff like that just to keep in shape. Vacation rolls around, I don't do anything. I come back the next week and take 2 steps back. So I just gotta work on getting in a routine and staying in that routine.
And I was about to say getting a routine, and this is something I touched on a little bit in the first episode, but I don't think I clarified on it too much. But getting in a routine and getting a set schedule and sticking to it is, if not the most important thing you can do. So at the height of my productivity during my 4 years of undergrad, whether it was at Northampton or whether it was at Campbell, I'm trying to do it a little bit more, but it's a little bit harder at home, even though I'm managing pretty well. When I actually set a schedule, I would write stuff down. I was writing down a log, like how much do I need to study or whatever. That is what ultimately gets you to repeat that process every single day. Creating something solid, creating something material, and being able to read it. And it's, it starts with writing down your goals. People always say, write down your goals. And people think it's so stupid. But the first thing I did when I got to Northampton, when I was trying to, kind of redefine who I was as a student and as a baseball player, I wrote down my 5 goals and I put them right by my bed and I typed them up all in different colors or whatever. And dude, I remember when Joel came and visited my dorm the one time, dude, he looked at it and he's like, oh, that's so cute and it's so funny. But I mean, in reality, because I had written down all that stuff, it helped me actually stick to the plan a lot easier. And if you guys watch Jordan Peterson, he said that's the most important thing. He's like, people who don't have a schedule are the ones that fizzle out. They're the ones who actually don't end up accomplishing anything. Right? And you may think that you have something good going, but you're wasting a lot of productivity. Yeah. And that's the one reason why I said I wanted to start a little challenge or a vlog. So actually, I didn't tell you guys, but the one thing that we were discussing right before is we want to do a challenge, right? Either a body transformation, either a strength challenge, either a muscle gain, fat loss, whatever. What we're going to do is we're going to write those goals down. We're going to post them on our social media, and then we're going to document our process or our journey working through all those goals. So not only will we have a little bit more of a drive to do it, but we don't want to let you guys down. So that just gives us all the more reason to set up a schedule, to set up a routine, and to actually stick to it. And
like a 75 hard or...
If you want to do the 75 hard challenge or you want to do a fat loss challenge,
we'll figure it out. We'll
discuss
them.
Maybe put some polls up. We'll get back to you guys on this. But we do want to get that started in the next week or two because we want to be getting you guys some more content. And just to let you guys know, you're not alone. We're going to have a different challenge that I'm sure is going to suit all different kinds of
people out there.
If you guys are
just starting in the gym, do not be discouraged at all. Like, I love seeing new people in the gym, all different kind of stories. Like, because you got to remember, everyone in the gym is there for working towards a common goal. Everyone wants to better themselves. So no one's ever going to judge you at your gym and be like, oh my God, he's so fat or he's so skinny, vice versa. And if they do, they're a freaking douchebag and like, whatever, that's just a bad person. But most people in there are always going to be like helping, encouraging. Whenever I had a question lifting, people always help me. I honestly, in my now full year going to the gym every day, I can say I maybe had one bad experience, and it was someone who was just like didn't ask me to use the weights I was using. But besides that, everyone's helpful, nice. Like, I love the atmosphere,
especially in smaller owned businesses or smaller gyms, private gyms.
If you don't want to go to like a big retro type, I would just find like a little local spot like ours. Shout out Forever Fitness in Mount Pocono. It's just simple little gym, good little community. Everybody helps each other out. Everyone in there busts their ass. So yeah, it's a good crowd, and now I love it. So.
And it's funny because we actually do have this one guy in the gym, and I'm not going to say his name or anything, but this just kind of goes into don't read into situations you don't know about, because there's this one guy in there who's in there working out every morning, and we love this guy. He's a big part of the family. You would have thought he was kind of like an out of shape, 50-year-old or whatever, but no, the dude's like,
dude, he's like
75. He's like 75, dude, or 73. And it's crazy because he's hanging with a lot of the weight that some of the younger guys are doing. Yeah. So it's just crazy, and it's just, and I mean, the main fact of the story is he's just an awesome guy, and he's in there and he's encouraging, and so that just also goes to show, like, when you do see someone else in the gym, never try not to poke fun, try not to try and show off in front of them, just try and lend a helping hand. And that's kind of one of our main goals here is to help people out who don't really know what they're doing or are looking to get started.
Right.
And that's just a main part of it. And just to kind of move on into, how I got started in the weight room and the whole routine thing. So the first time I was probably ever in a routine, I want to say in my life, because, when you're in elementary school and middle school, you have to get up so early in the morning, you practice after school. So it was a routine, just not one that I really enjoyed. So when I shattered my leg my junior year, so at the in August 2015, I shattered the distal end of my femur, and that locked me up in a leg brace and everything, wasn't really able to do much. But during that entire time, I actually got on a lifting routine with my dad, and we had all of his old weight equipment that he had saved from the 90s that he used to have over at our grandparents. Just real quick
background on my dad. He actually was like basically a power lifter in the late 90s.
No, early 90s. When he was in college.
But he was on this TV show on MTV called Remote Control with Adam Sandler, and it was like basically like beach body people, like beach babes and like big dudes. But yeah, he was on that show. So, and
they'd have the girls would have like bikinis on, but they'd have a piece of cloth that they would remove, and it would show a number. And no, the women were still clothed. Don't get too excited. But and then the guys had like, I don't know, like a Speedo on or something, and they had cloth with a number on it. And how it happened. So when my dad was in chiropractic school, he was down in Atlanta. He went to Life College of Chiropractic. He was lifting with some of his buddies in the gym, and one of the producers for Remote Control was in that gym. He's like, "Yo, you guys are pretty big. Like, it's kind of weird how it happened."
They were literally just like, "Dude, you guys want to be freaking beach bros for us?
You guys look pretty good. I mean, you guys want to do a photo shoot for us?"
Sure.
No, sure. But
like Adam Sandler's gonna host.
It's like, yeah,
man.
So they went on, but that's pretty cool. But my dad was always really big into lifting. Even up until he had us. We used to go to a gym called Elevations, which is right by
local gym,
right by our house, and that was an awesome gym. Before it wasn't able to remain open and end up closing up. But he was always a big influence on fitness and on lifting, and he always wanted us to get into it. So when I broke my leg, I didn't really have anything else to do. He would kind of like almost carry me downstairs because I couldn't put any pressure on my leg at all. And we would just lift, and I would sit on the bench, and he would set everything up because I wasn't able to move. But I would bench, and sometimes we'd go down there at midnight just because it was what we needed to do. And he didn't let me skip days. Even though I was laid up,
man, I can't skip,
dude, and I was doing lat pull downs, I was doing everything I could, and then even when I healed my leg, so I wasn't doing deadlifts quite yet, I was doing rack pulls and all this different kind of stuff. But he just kind of pushed me. He's like, "Oh, you didn't lift today?" He's like, "I don't care, like no excuses. You get down there and get to work." And I was skinny, man. I was 170 pounds at the time that I did it, and it took me a long time to gain weight, which is another thing. Some of you guys may be looking for some quick results or whatever, but especially
no quick results
with some of the stomach issues I've been dealing with, which I'll touch on at some other time. It took a long time before I was ever able to gain mass. And even though I became like a decent lifter by the time I got to college, or I at least, explored
Knew what you
or
were doing, yeah.
progressed a little bit on my lifting, where I was actually able to bench over 200 pounds and stuff like that. Not until I got to Campbell did I really explode in terms of gaining weight, gaining muscle, being more explosive on the baseball
Because it takes
field.
a bit to figure it out. Like, it's not the same recipe for everyone. The only thing I can say that is the same for everyone is being consistent. Being consistent, eating right, and just showing up every day. Because working through you might have days where you don't want to go. Those are going to end up being your best workouts. Mm-hmm. Like, you're in there, you're thinking, like, I'm not pushing weight today. I'm tired. I just worked an 8-hour shift. I don't want to be here. That's going to end up being your best day. You're going to push through that, and that's what's going to get you your gain. So just work through those days. Like, today was pouring out. I was in there for 2 hours. Me and my buddy Owen. Shout out Owen. But, yeah, I didn't want to go. I was like, this is, like, just drew me. Just want to stay in bed. But got out of bed, hit a great chest day, and felt so much better afterwards. So definitely just push through.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And to close it up now, we're going to get to that Mount Rushmore thing I was talking about.
Did we introduce it?
Huh? That might have been the second take. Right. Yeah, it took us multiple takes to get today's episode started. So what we're going to do today, and hopefully maybe every episode, probably going to be every few episodes, we're going to start doing some more segments. The one we're going to start is called the Mount Rushmore. And the Mount Rushmore, for people who don't know, is you pick 4 people who you believe are the best or the most deserving in any given category.
Whether it's a sport, movie star, rapper.
Rap, yeah.
Whatever.
And it's funny because people actually always talk about this, like, oh, who's on your Mount Rushmore of rap? Who's on your Mount Rushmore of actors or whatever, or basketball players. So we thought it would be pretty cool. And my brother and I, Brent and I, were talking.
Your brother?
My brother.
He sounds like a great kid.
We were talking about it last night, and we were like, oh, dude, that'd be pretty good. I put it in the group chat, and either Bobby or Richie was all over it.
I was all over it. I really liked that conversation.
So our first ever category for the Mount Rushmore is going to be the Mount Rushmore are your 4 most influential athletes of the 21st century. So this
2000 on.
So the rules for this one are it can be any athlete from the year 2000 to 2021. Mm-hmm. All right, so who wants to start it off? Who's
4 names?
4 names.
Give me Tom Brady.
You have to go Brady.
I
figure he's the consensus.
Give me the chosen one, LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron was on my list as well.
Give me Kobe.
Dude, would you copy my list?
And stats-wise, you can't go with this person, but influential-wise and being the face of something, you have to. Derek Jeter.
I knew somebody was going to say
Jeter.
You look at Jeter's numbers and you're going to be disappointed, but just from an aspect of being clutch and like leading a city, like everyone knows Derek Jeter. Even if you're not a baseball fan or a sports fan, you know Derek Jeter. So that's why he's on there.
Just a heads up, Brent's a big Yankees fan.
Oh yeah, shout out Yankees.
Little biased.
Big game tomorrow night. Big
It
game.
was amazing.
But Bobby, what do you got?
I had Tom Brady.
Yep.
I kind of stuck to just. There's like a lot of Olympic athletes and stuff, but
yeah,
I stuck
true.
to like football and
Michael Phelps.
I couldn't think of anyone for baseball.
Yeah, I was about to say we could have gone with Michael Phelps.
I had Tom Brady. I had Peyton Manning because me and Richie were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, all
I
right.
had Cristiano Ronaldo.
I didn't even think soccer.
I didn't even think about
And then
soccer.
Messi?
Just for the 4th one, I threw Messi in as well.
Okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
just because they've been around for like such a long time.
But
now.
you'd pick Peyton Manning over LeBron.
Well, I just wanted to keep it mixed up, like
I got you.
because like Richie was talking about mainly all basketball guys, so I didn't want to like.
Right.
Yeah, that's
also-
good.
I was just
I knew we
thinking
had
like
Tom Brady repeat, so I was like,
right. You're
Tom
a kid.
Brady's the pencil in.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's the first guy that comes to your mind.
Well, I mean, it's funny because we talked about this when the Pats Bucks game was on last night, and everyone was in their feels about Tom Brady. So we were all definitely watching, like Tom Brady's the GOAT.
Yeah, like you got it.
Yeah,
You got to
he
go Tom.
is. I mean,
Fresh in our
in
mind.
reality, I would have picked him anyways, but
yeah,
that's pretty good.
So for my list, I'm definitely going Brady. You don't have to explain it.
No.
Kobe Bryant, you don't have to explain that. The whole Mamba mentality.
Mm-hmm.
He was the early 2000s. LeBron kind of picked up 2008 and on.
Mm-hmm.
That's my 3rd. And the 4th one, I was debating on Peyton Manning, but since I played basketball pretty much my whole life, I was more inclined to take a basketball player. And it's Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
Interesting.
Super
Okay.
influential in the game of basketball.
Yeah.
You see kids who can't even reach the hoop that are 8 years old chucking up 3-pointers,
Yeah.
thinking they're going to be the next Steph Curry. And I mean, come on, he's the greatest shooter ever.
The only
Yeah,
problem I have with that is he was really late in the 21st century. He's only like the last 5 years. You talk about all these other
It was
athletes.
if you're gonna have a 5-year run though,
Yeah,
that was
I
a
mean,
5-year
One
run.
of the best runs. 73-9 before KD went there,
Mm-hmm.
and then influential over in China.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about China.
He really just changed the game.
Yeah, he did.
And
So
it's funny because when you ask people, all right, what's your starting five for all-time NBA, which we could also talk about if you guys want to, because I'm sure that'd be a good conversation. But people put Steph Curry in the point guard position. And, dude, I don't know. If you're talking about all-time...
He is a point guard.
No. Like, just does he deserve to be in the all-time... Is he the greatest point guard of all time?
I mean, he's an easy fit on any roster you want.
Well, for any position, he's the best
So
shooter of the
you would go
basketball.
over Steve Nash, John Stockton, Magic Johnson...
Yeah. Magic, you could give a case, but just because he's 6'7".
Russell Westbrook in his prime.
No.
You don't think so?
I'm sorry, I'm not a huge Westbrook
Because we're not talking influence at this point.
Let's hear your list.
Yeah.
Though.
All right. So
Mount Rushmore.
initially, mine was the same as Brent, but I went with Tom Brady. Tom Brady, LeBron, Kobe, have to. And again, I initially agreed with Brent on saying Jeter, but when we're talking about like global influence, I mean, Jeter was still there, and if there was a top 5, he'd be on it, but I have to go Messi then.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially because I played a lot of soccer growing up, whether it was travel soccer or school soccer, everyone was always talking about him. Because Cristiano Ronaldo, when did he come into the league, Bobby? I know that's more your speed. When did he...
He's actually a little bit older than Messi.
He's got to be like 40,
is he?
right?
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like no one ever talked
mid-30s.
about him back when I was playing. This is back in like 2008,
Dude,
2009.
Ronaldo looks younger now than he did when he first came in the league. I don't know if just like
money will do that for
yeah,
you.
dude. Oh,
Yeah.
He doesn't age.
Classic shirt.
Him and Brady are seriously the fountain of youth. They gotta be.
Yeah.
Who?
Brady, oh my God, that dude is just...
Who's...
A little different.
Oh, we were watching The Ranch, and do you guys watch The Ranch at all?
No.
And
show.
it's a pretty conservative show, and I think I might have talked about it the other time, but I'm binge watching it right now, so that's why I kind of reference it all the time.
Yeah.
But they were talking about today, like, oh, why do you hate the Patriots? They were just talking about American things, like, why do you hate the Patriots? They're called the Patriots. He's like, oh, I don't hate the Patriots, I hate Tom Brady. And the girl was like, why? And he's like, because a man ain't supposed to be that pretty.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's kind of the perception of him. And then and then in Ted, when they were trying to get a sperm donor,
Oh, and they sneak into Brady's
and they
house.
sneak into Brady's house,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and they go, we got a 4118. What's a 4118? Like, someone's trying to steal Tom Brady's sperm again.
Yeah,
Like, it's a common problem, dude. We should do that. We should review movies too, or like the funniest movie
We
scenes.
can save that for...
Oh, that'd be so funny.
we can
That'd
save
be
that
good.
for another episode. You can't put me in the spot like that.
No, I'm not going to spot for
Dude,
something like
think
that.
about it.
But all right, well, how about this? What are your top 5 most influential basketball, or top 5 starting lineup for basketball? Is that an easier one, or
I can give you a quick list.
all right? Give me a quick list.
Hardly even thinking about it. I'm going Steph Curry,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan,
Mhm.
Kevin Durant,
Mhm.
LeBron
Ooh.
James.
Yep.
And then for a big, I mean,
You're not going to go Kobe?
it's hard. I
I
mean,
don't-
I could go really small ball and put Kobe in there. You could run LeBron at the point, but I'm just going straight by position. I'm taking Jordan over Kobe for the shooting guard.
Yeah, I guess you have to.
LeBron, KD, either one of them can play power forward. In my center, I'm probably just gonna go Shaq.
Big boy.
Yeah, I think I would have to go
You could
Shaq.
just be the enforcer. You know?
Because if I'm talking like top 5 all time, not going by position, I'm going Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Shaq, and
you did say lineup.
I did.
CJ, come on.
Put Bird in there.
I was literally gonna say Larry
Short shorts,
Bird,
man.
but
Sharpshooter.
Dude,
what about Allen Iverson? What do you guys think
I
about
was just
him?
going to say my 5.
Not if I'm trying to
Yeah.
win. I'm putting Curry. Just he fits.
But
any
dude,
team,
if AI's like 6'4", he's the best player all time.
But
He
he's
might
not.
be. So all right,
Yeah, he is.
AI
I'm telling you, dude.
AI
he was
versus-
different.
AI versus Curry. Who wins? Even, completely even.
One on
would
one. AI is probably gonna beat him, but
He's going to get the bucket, yeah.
yeah.
So if their teams are completely even, like 2 through 5 are all pretty evenly matched, but it's Curry versus
Yeah,
AI
it's
at
just
the
too hard to
point.
say. We've never seen him play. You can't.
Yeah.
Who's gonna win, LeBron or Jordan? You know, like,
Right.
there's
right.
never a right
One
answer.
on one, you gotta catch some flack for it.
There's never a right
I like.
answer.
I mean, I like Jordan.
Yeah, I'm a
overall
Jordan guy
better,
too,
But I
but-
mean, you put one on one versus him versus LeBron.
See, I was telling Bobby what
So, like-
settles that debate is I was telling him on the way here. You know, if you're saying Jordan's the GOAT, you don't have to make a case. you know,
Yeah.
he's got
He
all
is
the
the case, yeah.
accolades. If you're
He is
saying
the
LeBron,
case.
if you're saying LeBron is the GOAT, you're gonna have to rattle on all these statistics to,
Yeah.
to
Dude,
prove
do
your
you-
point. And I'm a big LeBron guy, so
Do you guys ever watch Bad Teacher with Candace Cameron Burr?
yeah.
You ever watch it? Where
I've probably seen
she's
it.
in Justin Timberlake or whatever.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And there's that scene where that guy.
It's
at the
Cameron Diaz, dude.
I'm not Candace
said
Cameron Burr.
Candace.
That's
Cameron
freaking
Candace,
Fuller House, bro, or Full House.
Yeah, I seen that movie.
So
yeah.
in that scene, in the dance scene, he's arguing with that little kid, and he's arguing LeBron versus Jordan. And the
Yeah.
kid's like, "Oh, LeBron's a better rebounder and a better on-ball defender, or whatever he said." And he goes, "And Michael Jordan has 6 rings." He goes, "That's the
Yeah.
only argument you have." He's like, "It's the only argument I need." Sean."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
true.
I agree with
That's
that.
so
6
true,
for 6,
dude.
man.
I don't think.
Then you're gonna have that LeBron stand that goes, well, Bill Russell has like 9. Like,
All right, no, get out of here.
somebody,
Somebody,
you know, that somebody always brings that up too.
Yeah.
And then he's the greatest player now.
Ray
Yeah,
Allen
no, he's
also bailed LeBron out of
him
another
out.
final, so come on.
I remember that. Yeah, how crazy was that, man? I miss LeBron on the Heat.
LeBron was calling
Yeah,
for the ball
LeBron on the
back,
Heat.
man.
LeBron on the Heat was a good time, man. I remember staying up, and I don't even know what grade we were in, but
That was
watching
like-
all the playoff games.
Yeah,
you know, every
that was
night.
right when we started school basketball and
Yeah, that was
everything. Man.
awesome.
Basketball was our lives, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, we used the ball out back
Ball's
in the day,
life.
man. But I think we're pretty much running out of time here. Yeah, that's 46 minutes. Wanted to keep
Wrapping it up, yeah.
short and sweet for you guys. But thanks again for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe on the video. And again, give us your feedback. We're going to start doing some more fitness challenges. We're going to start releasing some more content. So hit us up in
More
our DMs
TikToks
on
and
social
stuff,
media.
yeah. Look out for that.
Yeah. So hit us up. Let us know what you guys want to see. And more importantly, if you guys want to be on the podcast, if you guys want to be a special guest or you know someone that wants to be on it, again, just hit us up in our DMs or hit us up on one of our phones. Email us, however you guys want to do it. 'Cause we're always looking for
You just
more
hit the
people.
DMs up, yeah.
Always looking for more people to get on here to have a good time, whether you got a story to share, whether you guys, just have some good life advice or whatever. So thank you guys again. We're going to be dropping this video on Wednesday night. That's going to be our drop time, I think, from now on. It's
Yeah,
gonna be,
October 6th, I think is Wednesday.
October 6th. This video is going to be dropping, and then we'll be releasing one shortly after that. So thanks again, guys. Again, this is Brosgiving Dad's Office, the 3rd episode, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys